Hello everyone and welcome back. I have been gone for a while. This feels weird filming. I don't think I've actually filmed anything in maybe 6 weeks. It feels like such a long time ago. I had a well-needed break after Vlogmas and I thought I'd talk about this story time which happened. It happened like 6 weeks ago, something like that. So it happened kind of quite a while ago, and I always thought I'd talk about it, but I was like knee deep into doing Vlogmas and I literally couldn't face doing another video. So I've never really done a video before on how to approach a man if you like them, and like the cold approach as they call it in like the pick artist game. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about this because I don't really approach men that often because, well, I think most people, you kind of think, oh, if I approach him, like, I'm not pretty enough for him or I'm not thin enough for him. So I don't really tend to approach men. But I thought I'd just document this because more of it is about kind of not caring what people think and not being dependent on the outcome. So the more people you ask out, you want it to be as if you don't really care about the outcome. That's what I've kind of been thinking about recently. Like even with my channel is like not caring about the outcome so much, because if you care about the outcome when you go into something, that's when it puts people off. And I think I've possibly, if I use my channel as an example, like people are turned off by the fact that I'm like, I want to make it, I want to make it. I think it's turning people off. So I'm trying to have this approach of letting things be more and not caring so much about the outcome. I think that probably is the only way to be. In some respects, you have to be like that dating because, like I've told you, like men aren't approaching, and that's just how it is. That's just my experience and what I found. And even on the apps, it's still the men just wanting sex. Girls, that never stops. If you're sitting there 20 thinking men just want sex, trust me, that does not stop however old that you get. Like, you're going to get that at 30, you're going to get that at 40. Like, it's not even an age thing, you're always going to get that. So once in a while, I think, yeah, I'm going to be the protagonist in my own life. And if I like someone, I will ask them out. And that's what I decided to do this night. I don't think anyone's probably still watching. Everyone's clicked off by now. So this was a spare of the moment thing. So to put it into context, I just come off the back of work Christmas party, and if people are watching, like, it was all right, but it was a bit shit really. So I came home pretty much quite early, and I knew I'd have to factor in maybe an hour and a half on the train. So I left at like 9:30, something ridiculous. And I got on the train and I was all like dressed up and looking nice, and I was just sitting there, and it's a bit like when you go on a bad date and you think, oh, it didn't work out. It was a bit like that. It was a bit like really flat at the end of the night, and you go into your existential crisis and you're like, oh great. And I was just on the train minding my own business, and this man came in, and I thought to myself, well, if he likes me, he will sit opposite me. If he has no interest in me at all, he will move on down the carriage. And he sat there, and I was like, well, okay, that's kind of like a good start. And he walks in and he sits there, and he was just look really nice and attractive, and he didn't look, you know, when some men are like fit but they know it, kind of like that. He wasn't like that at all. He was just really nice. He had a cute little satchel, he was wearing a jumper and jeans, and I was trying to think, why, you know, what's his evening been like? Why is this man on the train at 11? Like, what's going on? He's obviously got his work bag. Has he been out with friends? And I was just like overthinking. But I thought to myself in that moment, I can either take 2 points of call. I can either sit there and do nothing and go on my day, or I can just speak to him or I can chat to him and I can push myself out of my comfort zone. And you know what I'm like, this is me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go for option B. I'm going to actually approach the man on the train and ask him out. And then I had the dilemma of how the hell do you ask someone out on a train? Because luckily it was a late train, so there weren't too many people around. And there were two women in the back that I'd had previous conversation about getting on the connecting train, and they were fine. And then there was a girl that was just sitting there with headphones in. So I was like, if I ask this guy out, it's quite a low risk situation because there's no one around, people aren't gonna laugh at me, and honestly, people don't care about you. People literally don't care about you. They just want to get home. And I thought, what am I going to do? In the back of my mind, I was like, I can't see if this guy's married. I couldn't see his left hand. So I was like, I have two options. I either keep staring for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, creep this guy out, trying to work out if he's married or not. Because I literally couldn't see his hand. Or I could just bloody ask him. And you know what, in life I just think, why are we so scared? Why are we so scared to put ourselves out there to face rejection? And I'm just not the type of person that doesn't do that. I mean, I put myself online and risk rejection every day. I ask people out, and it's, like you say, it's because I don't get approached. I took the cheats way out. And I just wrote on my phone, like, are you single? I can't see your hand. And then, of course, he moved his hand and then he showed me his wedding ring. I was like, oh, no, you're married. And then it was honestly like a fine conversation. It was absolutely fine. No anxiety there. It was absolutely fine. And then we just had a quick chat. It's really difficult trying to find someone these days. And then I was just like, oh, what stop me getting off at? And it was just a nice, simple conversation. And then I just moved back to my seat. And yeah, it did feel awkward for the last maybe 15 minutes of the journey, but it was fine. But in that moment, I was like, when I was late and I got home, I was so proud of myself that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. And I just asked this man out on the train because how do you know? He could have been the person that I was supposed to be with, and that could have been the start of our story. But if I didn't say anything, if I didn't do anything, then it might not have happened. I always go into situations and I think, if I do something, what is the worst thing that can happen? Like, he says no, or he says no, get away from me. But that's when people overanalyze and they think, and I know there are going to be some people in the comments that are like, you're a woman, it's okay, you can approach men. I couldn't approach a woman on a train at night as the train goes past, the irony. I just think people just get stuck in these little online forums, these little enclaves online. And really, yeah, if you're a man, you can talk to a woman. I agree, you wouldn't be as direct with a woman as that. You would just start a conversation. But in not even trying, you're just setting yourself up for a fall completely. I just hate the way the internet's going. I just hate the way the internet tells women to be one thing and men to be one thing. Because I'm probably, obviously, feminine presenting, as in I wear dresses and do my hair and put makeup on, so I'm feminine presenting. But really, I'm quite a masculine person. I'm quite a go-getting individual. I guess I lean more onto the masculine side than feminine. And that's fine. And even during my time off, I was thinking about it and how I've got to the stage now where it's like, I'm not changing who I am. I know that I'm more a masculine person, and I will either appeal to a really strong masculine man that will allow me to be soft, or I'll probably attract someone a man that is more in their feminine side. And it will just depend on who that person is at the end of the day. I have the feminine side of me where I'm introspective, and I'll sit and I'll create art and I'll draw and I'll read and I'll be quiet and I'll be soft and feminine. But there's also the side to me where I will ask people out. I will tell people to fuck off if they annoy me. I'm not scared to step into that masculine side of me and that masculine energy. And you're gonna get some women that are completely feminine and they don't want to approach men, and that's fine. But I also think that we should allow it to be okay for women to approach men, and if they want to, and not be seen as desperate, not to be seen as someone not living their soft life, because really that's bullshit. Like, no one can live a soft life. You're not just going to be able to sit there and be pampered to. Like I said in my other video, shows you how much I know, because I literally thought other videos would blow up from Vlogmas. But that one seems to have blown up. Like I said, you're gonna have to work. You're not gonna be able to have a soft life. The women that want a soft life and the women that are preaching it on YouTube and their channels are ironically living a masculine driven life, making videos. That's the irony. These trad wives, these people preaching about the soft life on social media, are ironically being masculine, making the content, owning a business, and not having a soft life. And you've just switched, what you've done is you've just switched one rat race for the other. You're not out of the rat race. Nobody escapes the rat race. You either have a rat race where you're working for someone else, or you're in your own rat race where you're working for yourself, but you're still working and hustling. Like, nobody escapes the rat race unless, you live in a commune somewhere and grow your own vegetables and wear sandals. Like, you're not going to escape the rat race. Have a good week. I'm not sure what my upload schedule is going to be going forward, but I'll still do Sundays because that's when I get the most traffic, but I'm not sure of the frequency yet.